All right, we've got the countdown. 3, 2, 1, pills. Remember, these are two independent matches. This is not a fatal four-way, as they say in the wrestling world. 28 viruses here, and Flindo already off to a bit of a start here. Looks like he may have done just a bit of a tiny misflip or set up a massive combo. You be the judge there. He is currently down by 4 viruses. Looking at the bottom of the screen here, it's a very split elevation board for Packie. A lot of stuff on the bottom, a lot of stuff high up, including looks to be a couple of straggling viruses in column number 3. But Packie going to town here, 22. But Larva holding on to the lead here, 17 viruses, playing a really, really nice board. Really, just some really good setups so far, Slay.
Yeah, both Larvae and Paggy had a lot of gray when their boards opened up, but it looks like they both found really good ways of dealing with it. So, it's a high match right now.
Very tight match here. And yes, it's gray, black, and white here, not the usual red, blue, yellow. As I was very politely reminded before I hopped into the booth here, it on the top here, Frank down to his final 5, and he's going to get a triple combo that into another single. So just needing a couple of white-ended pills, and he will be out, and out at a minute 13. Frank holding on to a lead. On the bottom, it looks like Larva's going to be out first here, the 11 seed, getting this bye, and is going to be out at a 126, so holding on to a lead against Packie.
A nice
And
start to her level 7 here too. I like what she's setting up here.
mhm. Pay attention to Frank's board on that bottom section. If he can get a double black, he could really get a monster clear. Doesn't quite get it, and just elects to open up the board a little bit. Doesn't have a lot of access to those white viruses, so gonna have to be strategic in what you do here. Really only gonna be down to 3 here, just that one in the bottom corner, and then in column 2, there's a stack of 2. And not really readily accessible, so Frank's going to have to figure it out here. Flindo is looking to catch up here. He's going to drill down. He's going to get a triple, and he has now tied it up with Frank, as Frank's still looking for grays. Maybe that pill distribution is the same. I'm not quite sure, but what I am sure of is that's a nice little combo setup. And Frank down to 14, Flindo down to 14 on the bottom of your screen. Larva still holding on to a pretty sizable lead here, really making a nice decision here. She is going to be able to underclear or just tuck in that double black. Going to put her down to 7 viruses. There's a lot of gray there, Slay, which that means Larva's going to have to be very particular about what she wants to do to get out of this level.
Yeah, she made a smart play with that last gray so that it didn't interfere with her dealing with the white that was kind of sandwiched in between it. Good prioritization.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you'll notice with Frank also is, and in these earlier levels, if he's got room to work and he's not getting what he wants, he'll just build up what's underneath what he's waiting for, and then you'll have
Mm-hmm.
these incredibly massive combos.
And it's really an important strategy because sometimes the RNG just won't be favorable, and it's just that natural instinct to want to clear things off the top. Uh, so having that foresight to see what's going on the bottom of the board and setting things up is paramount to playing this game quickly here. It's pretty much a dead heat rather between Flindo and Frank here. It is a one virus game between them. A little bit more close. The viruses are a little closer rather for Frank, which is definitely beneficial for him, and definitely with these 2 doubles, the double black, the double gray, he's going to get that horizontal and put him down to 6. So a little bit favorable of an end game for Frank here. It is 4-7. Looking down on the bottom on level 8 here, Packy's starting to catch up, but Larva sensing it, getting a nice combo, going to give her a 4 virus lead here. Drops that white, could have dropped it off to the left in column 1, elected not
Ooh.
to. I do see the setup though.
Yeah, she got
We
the double black, bailed her
yeah.
out.
Frank out at a 409. Flindo still trying to get through here. He's going to get a drill double, and now just needing a couple of grays, and he will be on his way. There's 1, there's 2, out at a 425. Both players into 9 here, and it is an 8 virus lead on the top of your screen. Both players still on the bottom screen in 8, and it is a 2, now 3 virus lead here for Packie, as Larva is getting some good RNG. He's going to put herself down to 3. Packie out first. He was out at right around a 437. And it looks like Packie is going to, Nice play with that double by Larva, spreading it out at a 449 here as all players now in that final level. It's a 7-virus lead up top, and it is an 8-virus lead along the bottom.
Packie had a really great setup, and it was dependent on the double weight, which came at the perfect time. And he dropped that down, and it cleared a whole mess of viruses all at once. Really beautiful foresight.
Good setup here by Frank. He's going to get 2 off the board.
Flindo, a lot of doubles here. I feel like if he can get what he wants, his end game could fly, but it's just depending on the doctor, as usual.
Flindo making good use of those double grays, and now getting everything set up for an end game on that left side. A gray black would be amazing, and there it is. He's going to be down to 2. It's not going to matter though. Frank's already out at a 529. I'm just so used to a whole thing coming up across the middle of the screen. I don't quite see that clear, but Flindo out at a 550. Taking a look at the end of our first game on the bottom, Packie down to his final 4. Larva seems to have hit a bit of a struggle bus here as we cross the 6-minute mark here. Packie is going to be out and take game 1, 6:02. Packie takes game number 1 along the bottom.
Wow, great games. Both just pulling away, like really at the end. They were pretty close for the majority of the interim.
Larva's going to finish up her board here. I don't know if she knows she's quite out of it or just wants to take this down, as Flindo and Frank getting set up for game number 2. I'm loving these black and white filters, although it looks like Larva's live streaming like a scene from Clerks. I might be dating myself there with some of our crowd, but she cleared 37 viruses in a row. I think that's about as clean as I can make that joke here as we continue on.
Oh my god. Watch it there.
Uh-oh.
Don't clear any viruses on the way to the parking lot. You should see some of the other color scales on my emulator. There's even one that looks like a photo negative for those of you that know what that is.
Ooh, lovely.
Speaking of dating yourself.
All right, we've got our players readying up here for our second game. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and pills. And we are off and running here. Good split boards. Nothing along the bottom row for Packie or Frank. That means you're going to have to be smart with how you play your drop time. Although you can definitely work around some nice horizontal clears along that bottom row here early on. It is a lead for Flindo, and Flindo's going to get two more off the board down to 18. Going to drop some gray fragments down onto that left side. Meanwhile, on the bottom of the screen, it's 14 to 18. Larva now making it 14 to 16 as she gets a nice horizontal double. 1 pill clear. We love those. The most efficient play in Dr. Mario. And it is now 16 to 13. Packie's got a bunched up endgame. Larva's got a spread out endgame. You definitely want to be more spread out here. You don't want to get too bunched up, as it is 11 to 10 going back up top here. It is 6 viruses to go for Frank. A nice clear. He's got everything geared up. A gray will get the doubles, and he's just waiting for it. And there it is, out in 59 seconds.
That's a really good time for 4, I think. Larvae had a really dense early board in the right, and once she cleared all that out pretty quickly, it opened up a lot. So that was pretty nicely played early game, I think.
Both Flindo and Larva out of their 6 out of minute 22. And we see a Sweet Tea setup here and a good pill fragment drop for Flindo, putting him at 29. But Frank already going to town down to 15 viruses. And down on the bottom of your screen, it is 25 to 27. Still a close game here. Larva's got some forced garbage, doesn't have much access to white. And if you look in that bottom right quadrant, there is absolutely nothing for Larva. So basically a null and void playfield down there, which could be beneficial a little later. You can throw any sort of pieces you don't need over there. But what it does mean is you're going to be playing a bunched endgame in that lower left quadrant, and it looks to be affecting Larva's gameplay just a bit here, 19 to 14 along that bottom row.
Yeah, she has a bunch of doubles down there, so if she gets the right pills, it could go super quick. But if not, it's punishment. Fortunately, Packie, not for him, but for Larvae, he had a slight misdrop earlier in this round, and she could pick up a little bit of time there. Although he's obviously found a way right through it. I like this horizontal setup to get out.
Out at
Really
234
clean
is
end
Packie.
game.
Good clear there as well on Larva's end. Larva's got a nice couple of options here, getting that double, stacking up nicely, and that's a really, really smart play on Larva's part here. Flindo out of 7 at around a 249 here, but it is about a half a level lead here for Frank, as Frank's looking to put this away. Packie also looking to put this away and advance to our finals here, which will be happening coming up in a little, or our semifinals rather. I need to learn how to read brackets, but it is 29 to 9 up top here. Frank absolutely torching through level 8, and Packie is concerned or continuing. Words are hard to hold on to a lead of about 13 viruses over Larva.
Well, really timely double gray for Frank there to make that horizontal work the way he wanted it to, because he couldn't take the white first without wrecking that.
Frank kind of hesitating up top, figuring out what he wants to do. Does have a little bit of forced black pill garbage over on that right hand side. It looks like he is going to dig underneath though, maybe setting up for a big sweet tea clear. No, could have had the sweet tea clear, but instead is just going to elect to clear each of those black viruses individually, down to 32 here. But he is good to go here on level 9, and Flindo with a missed tuck there. And you can see it in his body language. He is going to drop a bunch of stuff down for a really nice clear, but I think he's a little bit frazzled by that mistuck, but all in all, it's actually not that bad. He is opening himself up. He could just drill down on that virus in column 4, or just get a double and just clean things up. It is 18 viruses in level 9 to 4 viruses in level 8 for Flindo. Larva down to her last 2, but Packie, kind of the same story here. He is already running through, and another mistuck we're seeing there. The mistuck, or the tuck physics must be a little different in the Game Boy version, but Larva out at a 442.
I have a feeling, I don't know if this is true for Packie, but I'm used to playing on console, and to play on emulator, definitely tucking is a little bit of an issue with the delay, or whatever you want to call it, the lag,
Input
input
lag,
lag.
no, yeah, definitely a concern there. Playing on the CRT for a lot of players definitely feels more natural, so I definitely understand that. Packie's going to have to work around garbage either direction to get to that last white virus in row number 2. Looks like he has opened it up here, and it looks like Packie is going to take this match here out at a 525. And Frank out at a 524, 2 blazing fast 6 to 9 times, and it will be match Frank and match Packie.